Time newscast in the English language on Canal International. I'm called Maureen. We'll begin with our top stories. SDF Member of Parliament Honorable Jacques of two incumbent Kavaye Jibril, although he glamoured for change, Kavaye Jibril was experts say this was imminent as wheat producing countries are currently at war and has affected production and exports. And a 35-year-old teacher in tears in Gaundare in the Adamawa region. She has gone for 4 years without salary. She calls on the authorities concerned to address her situation. And the National Communication Council has issued sanctions on some journalists and media organs for going against the norms of the profession. Those are major stories. Details right on it. Good evening once more. Kavaye Jibril has again been voted as president of the National Assembly. He obtained 161 votes as against one for his challenger, Jean-Michel Nicho, obtained just 1 vote with 12 null votes. Just to note that Kavaye Jibril has been president since 1992. Meantime, SDF Member of Parliament Honorable Jean-Michel Nicho today took Parliament by storm, proposing himself as the lone challenger to incumbent Kavaye Jibril. His actions today is reported to have created another ambience at the level of the Parliament. The hughes more from the opposite sides and other from the presiding elder member did not stop him from making his point. More on the story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
Cinq plaintes examinées, 2 sanctions prononcées par le Conseil national de la communication.
It is with regret that the National Communication Council notes some recurrent immaturity in the treatment of information by some media practitioners. The Council laments that specific media organs have let loose journalists who continue to go against the canons of the profession. Sitting at the 33rd Ordinary Session this March 17 in their headquarters in Yaoundé, the Council had 5 case files of complaints to examine, and after hours of deliberations behind closed doors, sanctions have fallen on 2 of them. Christophe Bianama of Visionka Television, suspended from exercising the journalism profession in Cameroon for a period of 2 months for a news report full of indecent expressions and unfriendly images aired on November 8, 2021 during the 8 p.m. newscast, and a warning letter equally addressed to the President Director General of the said media house. Another warning letter dished out by the George Obenkan Council to journalist Frank Koum of Echo Matin and the press organ as a whole for insufficient treatment and investigation of information. A case filed by the director of the Samis Creation Agency. 3 of the cases simply thrown out for lack of grounded substances. The National Communication Council challenges journalists of both public and private media to exercise professionalism, sticking to the sacrosanct principles of objectivity and auto-evaluation.
Increasing the price of bread and wheat flour. Experts say this was imminent as the wheat-producing countries are currently at war, and has attracted or affected production and exports. There are fears the decision to increase the bread prices might have a contagion effect on other sectors. As we hear the following story with our reporter Gladys Ambudiba.
Despite government still stands to ensure the prices of flour and bread are maintained, it finally bowed to pressure from wheat importers and bakery owners. The price of a 50 kilograms bag of flour has increased by 5,000 CFA francs, that is, from 19,000 CFA francs to 24,000 francs CFA, while bakers have been given the green light to sell a 200 grams loaf of bread at 150 CFA francs, up from 125 francs CFA. According to experts, this was imminent following the Russian-Ukrainian conflict that has led to a drop in wheat production by the supplying countries like Russia and also the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's just but normal. You know, Ukraine is a producer of, large producer of wheat. Wheat is a raw material, you know, that used in producing bread. So it's normal that the prices will surge in Cameroon. Last time I told you the government of Cameroon was supposed to anticipate. But as you know, these prices, there are other mechanisms that are introduced in the prices. Not only the rise in prices, but the quality and quantity of the bread that we produce might be a problem.
Since the month of February 2022, negotiations have been going on between the Union of Bakery Owners and government authorities. The president of the Cameroon's employer cartel, SHICAM, Celestin Tawamba, led a revolt against the government after failing to obtain tax and custom exemptions and defied regulations in the sector by announcing increase in the price of bread and wheat flour. Following the embarrassment,
the Cameroonian Consumer Foundation has embarked on a sensitization tour in some secondary schools in the nation's economic capital, Douala, to sensitize students on the dangers they face so they can know how to handle them. According to psychologists, many wayward behavior often begin at a childhood stage. More on the story with our reporter, Saleh Sharifa.
According to psychologists, many wayward behaviors often begin at childhood and represent major public health challenges. The Cameroonian Consumer Foundation, FOCACO, on the sidelines of the 39th edition of World Consumer Rights Day, went on a sensitizing tour to some secondary schools on the dangers of drug consumption. We are here to tell these youths that they have rights and we have the duty to protect them. We are here in line with the government to protect young people against the scourges that undermine them. Reason why we come to tell these young people to turn their backs on tobacco, gambling and consumption of drugs because it can destroy them. Stop addiction among teenagers was their slogan. They listed the negative effects of drug consumptions while at the same time advised the students to keep away from bad friends and concentrate on studies.
The problem is very huge and very serious, and we have all to put hands, educators, parents, education, national education, the parliament, and all actors, because youth must be, we have to take care of the youth.
Considered as leaders of tomorrow, the FOCACO took this initiative so that students should be conscious of the dangers they face and know how to handle them. SDF Member of Parliament, Honorable Jean-Michel Nincho, today took Parliament by storm, proposing himself as one of the challengers of incumbent Cavaye Yegre Jibril. His actions today is reported to have injected another ambience at the level of the National Assembly. More with our reporter Beatrice Ngamu.
The plenary sitting for election of permanent bureau chaired by the eldest member of Parliament started well, especially with the blessings from the Central Committee of the CPGM party and the parliamentary group sure of their ready-made list of candidates. At the pronouncement of the post of House Speaker, the CPDM parliamentary group leader, Honorable Jean-Bernard Ndongo Esumba, announced their candidate in the presence of Honorable Cavaye Yegre Jibril. On the call for another candidate, The SDF MP from Wuri East, Honorable Jean-Michel Ninche, announced his candidacy.
Madame la doyenne d'âge, chers collègues, j'ai l'honneur, du haut de cette tribune, de vous déclarer ma candidature au poste de président de l'Assemblée nationale du Cameroun.
To the mockery of the others, especially from the ruling party, his efforts to explain reasons for his nomination ended him more years, as the eldest MP keeps telling him to leave the rostrum.
J'ai pas quelques minutes de campagne.
Honorable Ninche said he is satisfied with the gest, no matter the selfish way at which the National Assembly is run by Honorable Cavaye Yege and his party scribes, while the others, like Cabral Libi, preferred neutrality.
So we cannot be surprised by the same thing every year. They have the majority, and it is normal that they win the majority of posts or of responsibility inside this bureau.
History, however, will have it that the results posted today, this March 18, reveals Cavaye Yege 148 votes, Jean-Michel Ninche 1 vote, and 12 null votes. Cavaye clocks 30.
And that report brings us to the end of this edition of Newscast on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. We have news in the French language at exactly this 9 seconds. As for me, I'll be back same time on Monday. Good night.